Okay, we will come back to our study. Now we wanted to say something about man's original state. Man's original state. What was the condition in which God created man? What was the condition in which? Was man holy? Was man righteous? Was man possessor of true knowledge? Or was he simply innocent? Those who teach dispensations, they wrongly have one dispensation called the dispensation of innocence. What is it? I never could. What is innocent means? A state where it didn't know right or wrong? What is it? We call, say, a child is innocent because child does not know what is right and wrong. Was man created like a little child without having any knowledge of what is good and bad? So this question, what was man's original state at creation? God made man in his own image. Is God innocent person? As far as sin is concerned, he is innocent. He does not know what is sin. Or he is righteous and holy. If he is righteous and holy, is he not innocent? Because both those words mean positive, not the neutral. It's not a neutral state. A person is righteous not because he does not know what is wrong. He is righteous because that's what he is. He does that which is right. Righteousness is a state of being right always. That's what righteousness. It's a state of being right. So was Adam created in a state of being right? From which he of course made the choice that he doesn't want to continue in that state. Instead he will rebel against God. So many people wrongly think man was innocent at creation. He didn't know, poor man didn't know what was right and what was wrong, No, such a thinking we cannot. Let us actually in Genesis chapter 1 and 2 we only have the statement God created man in his image. So God's image, what is God's image? Is God's image an image of innocence? Is innocence really a virtue state? Something neither sweet nor bitter? Something neither good nor bad? Is that a better state than something good? Or even something bad? So these are the questions. Let us turn to some couple of New Testament passages, like in Colossians chapter 3 verse 10. Colossians 3 verse 10.
Have put on the new man, which is renewed in knowledge after the image of him that created him.
Yeah, renewed in knowledge after the image of him, that is God, that created him. This is not a renewed in knowledge. That means, you cannot renew something unless there was something originally, right? So man was created in the image of God. What is that image of God there? In knowledge, renewed in knowledge after the image of God. The image of God is related to knowledge. God is an all-knowing God. God created man with knowledge, true knowledge. Not exhaustive knowledge necessarily, because it's only image. The reality had thorough, complete knowledge, but man was created with true knowledge. To the extent God allowed him to know, that was true knowledge. In salvation, what is happening is it's a renewal into that old state in which God created man. So man was not innocent. No, he was a knowledgeable creature. So when Satan came and said that if you eat, you will be able to know. See that interesting? He was already created as a knowledgeable being. To the knowledgeable being, Satan offers that if you eat the forbidden fruit, then you shall be able to know. So how you justify that? How you interpret that? Huh? It's like saying to Einstein that if you do this one, then you shall know the elements of physics. I know it's a statement like that. No, it's not a statement like that. It was a very sensible statement. Satan, speaks truth at the cost of, great risk, Satan's truths are all very expensive. Occasionally he will speak a truth, and to Adam he spoke a truth that you shall be like God. And then is able to know what is good and what is evil. Let's read another verse, Ephesians chapter 4 verse 24. Ephesians 4:24.
And that we put on the new man, which after God is created in righteousness and true holiness.
Yes. The image of God is related to righteousness and true holiness and knowledge, true knowledge. Colossians 3:10 it is knowledge. In Ephesians 4:24 it is righteousness and true holiness. I think the image of God means God created man with the true knowledge, true holiness and true righteousness. That's how he created. Salvation is coming back to that state. We ought to have true knowledge, we ought to have true righteousness, and we ought to have true holiness. All the religions in the world offers fake knowledge, fake righteousness and fake holiness. God created man, the original state of man was that man was a righteous being, man was a knowledgeable being, and man was a holy person. Holy person. So these three virtues, when you say God created man after his image, means God created man after his own image in knowledge, in righteousness and in holiness. So that is what it said. Come on, let's make man in our own image, after our own image in knowledge, in righteousness and in holiness. So God, these are the three essential things that relates man to God. Our knowledge has to be true, our righteousness has to be true, and our holiness has to be true. Without these three things we can never relate it to God. God is holy, God is righteous, and God is all-knowing. There are other things, of course, yes. But these are the essentially three things. Righteousness is a state of being right. You can have fellowship with God only when you are right. Our knowledge has to be right. So the whole question is, when God created man, what sort of a knowledge he had? God told Adam, if you eat the fruit of the tree of knowledge, you shall die. Did Adam know if he eat the fruit, he will die? Yeah.
So what is the knowledge that the fruit is?
We'll come to that, yes. There is a few steps we have to climb before that. Otherwise you will fall down. Answer this question of mine. Did Adam know that if he will eat that fruit, he will die?
Yes.
God told him. So what was the basis of his knowledge? God is the. So God is the basis on which he knew it. Did he have that knowledge in himself? No. That knowledge was in whom? God. How did he know that then? Yeah. Well, God told many things. He didn't apparently believe that. Faith was the basis. As long as Adam believed God, he knew, he had the answer. The moment Adam had a doubt about God's veracity, he didn't have the answer. See, that's what Satan did. Satan came and put a thought that, hey, God is not speaking the truth. Don't blindly believe that guy. So then, that, hey, such a beautiful fruit. If you eat, you will die. Now, did Adam know the truth? What are Adam's options to know the truth? Now God is saying you will die, Satan saying you will not die. Instead you will be like God. Adam has to make a decision who is speaking the truth, right? Daddy says you will die, mummy says no Mona, you won't die, you will be like your daddy if you eat it. The child has to make a decision who is speaking the truth. So what are Adam's options? What is advantages? How will you decide what is advantage? You are already created in God's image.
She was told that you become like God.
But in what sense? All knowing, all powerful? Did Satan say that? That's the question.
You will be like God.
Yeah, you will be like God. What did God say after Adam ate the fruit?
Now you have like me.
Look at Genesis chapter 2,
He is like one of us.
chapter 3. What was God's statement after Adam and Eve? They ate the fruit. Very interesting statements. Proves that Satan was speaking the truth. Because, you know what God said? Yes, verse 22. And the Lord God said, after they ate, and the Lord God said, behold, the man is become as one of us. So wasn't Satan speaking the truth? But then it's added, one of us to know good and evil. Now Adam is like God when it comes to know good and evil. In what way? After Adam ate the forbidden fruit, in some way Adam became like God in this matter of knowledge, good and bad. In what way? Did God know good and evil after eating that fruit? Then what does God mean? This is a statement of God. Now man has become one like us, able to know good and evil. See, Adam knew good and evil by faith. If you eat, you ask, I will die. Why? God said it, and I believe it. Now you go and ask Adam, what is Adam's? Yes, I died. You know it by faith? Oh no. Oh no, no more question of faith. I know it by experience. See that? Now the basis of Adam's knowledge is not God but Adam himself. God was the only one who had self-pusto knowledge, self-reference knowledge. God decided for himself what is right and wrong. Now there is another God. He decides what is right and wrong for himself. That's what Satan is saying. If you eat this one, you will be free from God. You don't have to live by faith. God won't be deciding what is right and wrong for you. You yourself will decide what is right and wrong. And God said, hey, see, Father, Son and Holy Spirit is saying, now man is decides for himself what is good and evil. Come on, let us kick them out. In our garden there is only one God. No room for two gods. So from man, who was able to know the truth by faith, he slipped down to a position where he knows the truth by himself. Either by experience or by his reason, whatever, maybe in this case by experience. So it's no more faith the basis of knowledge. God wanted man to live by faith. Romans chapter 1 verse 17 says, my just shall live by faith. God created man, Adam just and righteous, and he was to live by faith. For every statement, can I do it? No. Why? Because God said no. Can you do it? Yes. Why? Because God said yes. Now man has come to a place where he says, can you do it? Yes, I decided for myself. I can do it what I want. I am no more living in dependence of God. I decide for myself what is right. 3-year-old child is told by mother, go to bed. Child says, no. Son is 9 o'clock. I know when to go to bed. You don't decide it for me. If you are raising up your children respecting that one, you lost the child. If you say that daddy decides that, you go to bed immediately. You don't decide it for you. I'm the king in this home. You take orders or you're out. When we raised up our children, we gave them relative freedom according to their age, but there was always one room. Under this roof, my word is the final. You wanted to obey it, you can stay it. You don't want to obey, leave it. There is no second. You have to obey your mother. That's my order. You don't decide it whether you want to or not. I decide it for you. It's my home. You don't want to obey your mother? Out. No, Dad, I want to listen. Then obey your mother. No, that's it. I never had a challenge because I made my rule very clear. In my home also, that was. In my young age, I was a very obedient child, to be honest with you. I never had beatings for disobedience or anything. But there was something I always wanted with food, fish. If no fish, I won't eat. My game worked very well when father was not there. But when father was not there, father was there. Yes, he decided, I knew. So one day it was supper time and there was no fish. So, mummy told me that, I don't want. My father was staying there. My father keep it in those days we didn't have a fridge. Keep it in the almara, don't give it. No food. So I wanted to eat because I was hungry. But I know my father's rule is not changeable. So my father put it, he had no option. So early morning, at that time I was in the 10th grade, Early morning I was up and my father called me, come here. You can't eat food without fish. I said, I like fish. I said, how old are you? I'm 14-year-old. Okay, from today this is a rule. When you come from school, when you go to school, take money from me. When you come from school, buy your fish. You are old enough to buy your own fish. I am in trouble because all the children are coming, I don't want to go to So I said, Appacha, I have to make a declaration here. What is it? College വിദ്യാഭ്യാസം കഴിയുന്നവരെ മത്സ്യം തൊടുന്നതല്ല. So this was when I finished my 10th. I said, college വിദ്യാഭ്യാസം കഴിയുന്നവരെ ഞാൻ മത്സ്യം തൊടുന്നതല്ല. Yeah, I said, until I finish my college education, I shall not touch fish. But that's the decision you make. Yes. I will not be buying fish for anybody. I will not be eating fish. So I remember until I finished my BSc, there will be fish and this and guests coming and my mother will be begging, Mone, steak once. I said, my decisions are always final. That's what you taught me. Yeah, well, like my father said, decisions are fine. So I did not. For 4 years I did not touch. So when I finished my BSc, that day I ate fish. Because I was going to leave home. Well, for a few days okay, I was around and the boat I had no problem because my school days are over. So what I meant is, the father is the head there. You have to obey. You have to respect. So I made that point very clear to my children also. And God also said, you want to live in my garden? Yes. No choice but to obey. Now you have decided not to obey, right? Out. Out. So God created man in a very righteous state, it's a very high state. He was to live by faith. Satan came and he kind of suggested, hey, you want to be another God? I know you are created in the image of God, but you want to go a little more than you want to be like God, then you disobey God. So that's what death is. Death is breaking the relationship. The day you eat, your relationship with me will be broken. No more in my garden. So God created man in true righteousness and all these things. This may be strange for some of you because I don't know about you, in some homes, parents take orders from children. Mother is writing, child says, I want the pen. Mother gives another pen, no, I want that pen. For finally what mother says, oh, churukanda, carry him here. So what are you saying? You are saying, not my will, as your will be done in this home. So they grow up like that, and then the struggle comes, and then one day he says, I want a bike, you have to give. I want a car, you have to give, or I'll hang. Little after that, I'll shoot you. That's so many people have done. So God created man in such a way that he will live with reference to God. All his moral decisions will be in accordance with God's will. Where are we? In between? Some according to God's will and some according to my will. No. If we just obey orders from God's will, then we are in harmony with God. So God created man in his own image, means in righteousness, and true holiness, and true knowledge. So Adam had knowledge. It was true, because the nature of his knowledge was the very nature of God's knowledge, only quantitative difference, but qualitatively the same. Truth is truth, right? Quantitatively different. God knew all about all things. Man did not know all about all things because God did not tell him all about all things. But whatever things God told him, Adam knew that knowledge was very true. That's why today we say that what we say, the Bible must be the basis. Then only our knowledge is true. If I am speaking from my own opinion, my knowledge is not true because my knowledge is self-pusto, with reference to myself. Do I know everything? Oh no. I don't know what will happen to me in the afternoon. I don't know. Even my knowledge about that one is very, very small. How can I know? So some children will say that, that, yeah. They say that, don't tell me, go to bed. I know when to go to bed. And I see some parents so helpless before their children. I feel so sorry. Because children stand up and argue with parents. Finally, children will go to bed when they want, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, whenever. The poor daddy and mummy sitting there. Oh, kochinda karyam. What is the karyam? What is the problem? You only spoiled your child. You made him he is born a sinner, but you have made him just like Adam after sin. But you cannot expel him from the home because he is, minors and all those things. But you needed to execute your authority there, you know. Your dominion. Your dominion does not go to mosquitoes only. Your dominion goes to your children. You won't have problem with obeying, raising up your children. It's a trouble, I know, it's a struggle. I'm not saying it's just like eating vanilla ice cream, just put it in the mouth and so smooth. No, it's not, because they are human beings. But yet, you know that those human beings have to be taught to obey. That's the first thing. Teach them to obey. It comes to spiritual children also. What is the commandment? Teach them to obey all things that I have commanded. See that? That's where, you know, the spiritual children also begin there. Lesson 1, obedience. Some parents struggle, you know. But in the childhood they struggled. No discipline, nothing. They are free. Free like a goose in a bush. No restrictions, nothing. There are people like that. I know a brother, you know, his life was very undisciplined. You know, he won't care for anything. Elders or whoever speaking, he will not obey. He will do only what he wants. So I asked him one day, tell me about your childhood. Did your father ever discipline you? He said, oh no. No, father never disciplined. Father will beat only when, you know, something you do against his interest or something. Otherwise you are free. So we go to school and sometimes we go to our friend's house. Evening comes a, you know, 5-year-old child says, you know, 5th standard child, 10-year-old child didn't come home. What do you do if your child doesn't come home? So the mother will say that, you know, this boy hasn't come. The father said, if he is alive, someday he will come back. If he is dead, don't worry. What's the use of finding a dead body anyway? So he said that we sometimes come after 1 week, gone to school, never ask where you were, the father. So father said, so that's the way he was raised up. Therefore he could not be disciplined by anybody. So basically you are saying even my father could not discipline me. I know another sister, we thought that she was the godliest woman on the earth. I mean, you know, because she will come for, you know, her parents are non-believers. They are big guys, but she will come for every meeting, even when she was a student. Camps, everywhere she go. We thought it's out of her spirituality. But after marriage, her husband just told her something, you know, then he said, look, even my father could not control me. You never try to control me. I'll go where I want. I'll do what I want. You are my husband, that's fine. Then only, you know, then only everybody began to think that, boy, we thought she was very spiritual. It was not out of spirituality, it was her rebellion against her father. If her father said, don't go, then she will go. She wants to prove that I am the master, not you. How you like that? So we are bringing up somebody who one day will be telling their husband, mind your own business. I'll go where I want. Who will stop me? Even my father, who was a big guy in the society, he could not one day stop me. See that? This sort of thing is there. So when God now said man has become one like us, able to know, means now man knows what is good and what is bad and what is right and what is wrong, not because we told him, but because he decided for himself. Isn't that the condition in which the world is? Yes. That exactly is. Bible does not teach that method. So God expelled Adam and Eve. Yes. Now 2 Corinthians 5:17 says what? You all know by Memory, yeah. Yes, if any man be in Christ, he is a new creation. So what happens? Old things are passed. What old things? What old things were passed away? Your hair remains the same, your nose, your look, and your... What is these old things? Before conversion, you had a lifestyle that you got from Adam and Eve. That you are your own God. That is now gone away. Old things have become new. Means now you come back to the state where you live by God's. God is your pushto, point of reference. God is your point of reference. So when somebody claims to be a born again Christian and you don't see this point of reference change, you wonder, why you saved? You really saved? Yeah, I'm got saved. Yeah, who says? I say it. Yeah, now I know. Now I know. Now I know your problem. Yes, don't say that. Well, if we say, Bible says, those who put their faith in Jesus Christ are saved. As many as received Him. I am a person who receives. So I don't say it. Bible says, God says it. I'm a child of God. That's correct answer. I'll take it. But I say it. So who cares what you say? This sort of things is there. So if you are a born again Christian, come back to Garden of Eden. Start living by faith. The just shall live by faith. The just shall live by faith. When people start living by faith, that's when. But nowadays people think that to question God is sign of maturity. You know? To question God is a sign of maturity. Huh? If you simply say yes, yes, and you are an yes man for God, you are a sissy. But if you question everything, put God on the defensive, put elders on the defensive, put your father on the defensive, then you have come to age, but you are out from the garden. You are a lost person. That's why the Bible says submit to authorities. The earliest authority, the parents, then the teachers, the elders, the government. He who resists the authority resists God, for there is no authority but from God. So when the son says no to the father's authority, he is resisting God. I don't care what God gave you this authority. I rebel him, challenge him. That's what he's saying. Man was created beautifully. That day when Adam and Eve ate the fruit was a sad day. Satan watched there and laughed. Now man has become like God. Yeah, now man has become like God. Satan was thrust out from God's heaven for the same reason. That's what he wanted. I don't know what Adam and Eve told Satan. Did he say that? Cheating is okay, but this is too much. No, what cheating? Didn't God say you are like God now? Didn't God say you are like God? So the original state in which man was made was beautiful. Yes. So Westminster Catechism, the statement is very good. God created man after his own righteousness, his own image, in knowledge, righteousness and holiness. In Ecclesiastes 7:29, it's a sad statement, but it's a true statement. Ecclesiastes 7:29. The improvement we made upon us. What was that improvement? God has made man upright, but they have sought many inventions. That's it. God has created man upright, but man has made many inventions, how to get around God's standards. Very cunningly. Very cunningly. Is man successful? Oh no. The Lord is recreating. The new man is renewed in knowledge, in righteousness, and in holiness. In holiness. The original state of man is not innocence, but holiness, righteousness, and true knowledge. These are all positive virtues. Holiness is more than innocence. It is not sufficient to say he was created in a state of innocence. That would be true only if God created man without moral dispositions, either right or wrong. Man was made negatively innocent and positively holy. If man did not know anything, it was sin he didn't know. But righteousness he knew. Yes. But now man changed. He knows sin experientially. You see, God does not know sin. God is negatively innocent concerning sin. He has no relationship with sin. Does God know what is adultery? What is murder? Does God know? No, God doesn't know what those things. He knows only theoretical knowledge, no practical knowledge. No. Adam had that, if you eat this fruit you will die, but he had no practical knowledge. But now he has practical knowledge. When it comes to evil, theoretical knowledge is the best, practical knowledge is the worst. When it comes to righteousness, theoretical knowledge is not the best, practical knowledge is the best. Theoretical knowledge is good but not the best. If you jump before a car, you will be hit and your back will be broken, and if you know that theoretically good, but if you know it practically, pretty bad. If you swallow potassium cyanide, you will die instantly. That's theoretical knowledge. Hey, keep it. That's good knowledge. But don't. The practical knowledge, yes. Actually, nobody has the practical knowledge. Even people wanted to find out what is the taste of potassium cyanide. The maximum, they have completed halfway the letter S. So it is sweet or sour, nobody knows to this day. Yes. People have deliberately in one hand, and they have, yes, they touch the tongue before they complete the letter S, they collapse. That may be another person. There were plenty of fools in the world anyway. So whenever it comes to sin and evil and wickedness, theoretical knowledge, you know. If I hang, I will die. That's theoretical knowledge. Practical knowledge you don't want. You know, stay away. Stay away as far as evil is concerned. So Adam knew theoretically if he eat that fruit he will die. But now Adam knows practically what good. Oh, what good it is. Yeah, he can say that, no, I have better knowledge now. Oh, you have. Keep it. Yeah, that's terrible, isn't it? I mean, it's terrible. Our young people are they're going after practical knowledge about what? All kinds of moral evil, immorality, sexual sins and all those things. They're going after, they say that theoretical knowledge is not enough. Some people said that, man, when you are young, you have to know all these things. You can be spiritual when you get older. Yeah, in a young age is the time when you have to. I say, you fool. What is good about knowing sin experientially? That only will ruin your life. Somebody catch AIDS. Yeah, I have experiential knowledge. You only talk about theoretical knowledge. I have the experiential knowledge. I say, get out of the room. Yes. So, God gave a man knowledge by faith. When that knowledge by faith was pristine, pure, because it stated what God said about the tree. What God said about the tree. Did God have experiential knowledge? No. Concerning sin, God does not have experiential knowledge, only theoretical knowledge. On any evil, if God had experiential knowledge, he will become Satan. He is not God then. Satan is the one who has theoretical knowledge about righteousness and practical knowledge about all kinds of sin. He got a beautiful name, Satan, devil. The word itself sounds like devilish. To call somebody devil or Satan, that's not a compliment. So some husbands and wives call each other sometimes by such titles. I don't know why they will call that, but yes.
Has God given freedom to Adam?
God gave freedom to whom?
To Adam.
No, God never gave freedom. Because God told us, thou shalt not eat the day you eat. So that's freedom. That's prohibition, right? God gave Adam the ability to obey or disobey, but the freedom only to obey. If God gave Adam the freedom, then after eating, God should say, Adam, well done, well done. You enjoyed the freedom I gave you. I respect you. I honor you for that. No, God never gives freedom for doing anything evil. People say they have the freedom. God never created man a free being. God created man a moral being, allowed only to do what is good. But God created man with the ability to do good or evil. A doctor has the ability to stab the man on this surgical table with a knife and kill him, or surgically operate and give him. But does he have the freedom? No, he doesn't have the freedom. The wife has the ability to use the kitchen knife to, stab the husband. But does she have the freedom to do it? No. If man has the freedom to do it, no police can arrest you, because police must say that I have come to appreciate the fact that you have exercised your freedom. No. So the idea that man is morally free to do evil is an evil idea. Martin Luther wrote the book Bondage of the Will. That's what it is, bondage of the will. Adam did not have the freedom. What is freedom? How will you define freedom? Freedom is the opportunity to do that which is right, for the right purpose, at the right occasion, the right way, with the right intention. That is called freedom. Man was given that freedom, if you want to say that. But man was not given the freedom to do the wrong thing. No, that's slavery. Satan was offering the wrong freedom, which really is not freedom. All our young people and all our politicians, and they are all talking about the wrong kind of freedom. Who is talking about the right kind of freedom? Nobody. You don't have the freedom to do anything that is wrong. No, you don't have. The child has the freedom to study her lessons, his lessons. Freedom to go to school, study the lessons, come home, do the chores that are required. He has the freedom. But the child does not have the freedom not to go to school, not to study the lesson, not to do the chores. No. If the child says, I have the freedom to go or not to go, what will you say? Oh, really? I appreciate that. No, you don't have the freedom to do that. That's what our people are doing, They want to do everything that they want. They want to go wherever they want. They want to sleep as many hours they want. They want to skip the Sunday if they don't want. They want to go to their friend's home and stay there overnight without telling anything. Do they have the freedom to do that? No, they don't have the freedom. I don't give that freedom. I believe in discipline. I was brought up in strict discipline. Sometimes I think too much discipline, maybe. But thank God that I had too much of the discipline, not little, Right? But it was good, it was good. It was good. The misuse of the freedom, that's a misuse of the freedom, or that is called a licentiousness. You are doing what you want. without any restraint. So recently there was a picture of a leopard or tiger. The head was inside a pot. Did that animal have the freedom to do that? That's what our young people are doing. They put their head in the wrong places, they're walking. Exactly, that's what they're doing the wrong thing. No, we should not be doing that. So God created man, righteous, upright. Man has invented many, many wrong things. The original state of man is not innocence but holiness, righteousness and true knowledge. God told man, you don't have the freedom to eat from that tree of knowledge. The day you eat, you shall die. That's not freedom, that's prohibition. But man had the ability because, personality, a personal being always has the ability. If God takes away that ability, cow doesn't have the ability to eat fish. It goes, smell the grass, and if the smell is okay, it eats. It doesn't have the freedom. No. Man does not just smell something and eat. Even if the smell is bad, man will put his, like this, pour it on. He has the ability to do that, but he doesn't have the freedom to do that. The ability. And it's terrible. Some people, after enjoying the ability, going around spitting and spitting and spitting. And terrible, And they say that we have the freedom. I say, you don't have the freedom. God never gave you the freedom. So the new creation is a condition of restoration to the primitive state. New creation, righteousness is viewed as a regenerative righteousness according to God, Ephesians 4:24, which after God is created in righteousness and a true holiness. Pelagius was a man. We talked about Pelagius sometimes past, I believe, yes, church history and all. Yeah, Pelagius denied that man was created in holiness and righteousness and knowledge. He said man was created innocent. He didn't know a thing about these things. Yeah, but Bible does not teach that. Pelagianism, con-creation of righteousness, knowledge and holiness. God created these three with man. Pelagius denied all three. He taught that the will of man at creation was void of any virtue or character. Adam's first act was to originate holiness and sinfulness. So Pelagians deny that Adam's posterity is born with any character. Man is not a sinner until he personally sins. That's what Pelagius says. So the little child that is born is neither righteous nor a sinner, it is a neutral. When the child does the first act voluntarily, that will decide. I haven't seen a child that is not born a sinner. Honestly. Have you seen? I have raised up 5, they were all sinners. My sin and my wife's sin. And from both parties, families. They were all piled upon them. So what happened? Take them, give them hug and love and feed them, change their diapers, everything, and you lay down. What is wrong with you? Pick it up, no problem. Lay it down, problem. Pick it up, that's sin. Selfishness. That child is saying, I am the boss here, I decide when you will put me down and when you will go. You will hold me as long as otherwise you try to put down. So we made a rule. Take it to the room. Put a mat on the floor so that it won't fall down. Put it there, close the door. Let the child cry. As much as you want. You are free to cry.
You have the freedom to cry.
Yeah, you have the freedom to cry. So after a couple of days, the child finds out something that in this home, this doesn't work. So what am I going to do next? Yeah. And they all play games, they all play games. Doesn't some children, right before the bus comes, vomit? Mommy, I feel, in the pond today. Problem is solved. Some want to go bathroom, some this problem. So sit there playing the games. If the parents say that, wipe it out, clean it, and then get in the bus. That problem will never be repeated. Unless it was due to some wrong food you fed or something. But next day that won't be. Next day says, I have a stomach ache. Yeah. And you put them on the bed and say that, on the bus and say that, cry until you reach school. As long as they find out that no way, they are thinking about what number next day. Finally they will find out that in this home numbers won't work. So very honestly, faithfully they will do there. That's the way you have to break through. All your children, not one of them is born holy. Nobody has a halo around their head. They are all born sinners. Parents only spoil them. Parents only honestly spoil them. Either by giving the wrong love. The right love always comes with discipline and all that. What is best for the child, that is what the love is, right? Crying is not a bad thing. Their voice will become better. They will become better singers and all. The old time, as soon as the child was born, the doctor will hold the child upside down and give 1, 2. Why? Because from the cry they can know that whether the lungs is clear, the tracts are clear or not. And also the sensitivity, the nervous system, they are kind of making their nervous system to work right. That these days all cesarean children, if there is any cesarean, forgive me. And the problem with the cesarean children is their nerves doesn't work. God has designed the birth canal in such a way that maximum squeezing is there, Every nerve has to be squeezed so that blood flow is right. Now cesarean, but cut it, open it up. This is all wrong system. Who is going to make the whole system right? And lot of women don't want to suffer the birth pain. So they have all kinds of injections now, in addition to those, even those who doesn't want cesareans, they have, what is it called, that special injection? Epidural injection, that will make painless. What good is painless delivery? Childbirth should always have the attached pain. That makes the wife's nervous system, the contractions and everything right. No, the curse is I will increase. The increased part is a curse. What do you think that, even blow your nose there is some discomfort. The Lord didn't say that your childbirth will be with pain, said I will increase. Man was not created to give birth every year. If there was no sin, probably 2 children at the most. Because for all eternity the population was to be going, and infinity, this earth is going to be infinitely populated. You think about that. Now it has only another 3,000, 2,000 years, so it has to be filled. So God said, run your machines faster. Yeah, that's the way it is. Look at what God said to Eve. Yeah, I will increase. I mean, you cannot increase something unless it is there. So it was there. Childbirth was going to be not a fun at any time. Yeah, it was there, but it was moderate. Now it is. So what man is trying to take away that. No, you take too much away. Take too much away. So I don't recommend cesareans and epidural injections and all these things. I say have natural childbirth. Even don't call a doctor, if possible call a midwife. They are the best trained ones. Unless there is a hospital, should be handy if case any. Because you don't need a doctor for childbirth. It's a natural thing, right? Childbirth is a natural thing. Look all the Nadodis and all that. അവർ ഭർത്താവിൻ്റെ പറയും അങ്ങോട്ട് പോയിട്ട് വരരുതെന്ന് പറയും, ഇനി ഒരു കൊച്ചിനെ എടുത്തെന്ന് പറയും, ഏന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു. That's all that pastor is. The Hebrew women were like that. Isn't that what those midwives said, that before we reach there things are over?
Was it true or they were saying?
Well, partially true. Partially true. The reason is because these midwives were sent to kill the baby, and those Hebrew women know. So before they come, they want to get the thing done. Yeah. This is all fun. Anyway, what I meant to say is that, the freedom is a wrong concept. A wrong concept. The new creation is a condition of restoration. What we lost in Eden, God wants us to regain, but in His kindness and goodness, He gives us more than what we lost. When we regain more than. We were originally created to live on the earth. Look, some of us are now created to live in heavenly places. Isn't that more than? Yes, that's more than that. So Pelagius denied that. Semi-Pelagians is another group. They also basically say that all the Armenians are semi-Pelagians. They teach us the same thing, though they admit that posterity is born with a vitiated physical nature. Pelagius denied even this. So far as the rational and voluntary nature of man is concerned, the semi-Pelagians asserts that holiness, like sin, must be self-originated by each individual. Sin was self-originated, righteousness must also be self-originated. How can you? Yes, how can a sinner self-originate? So he says, man is not a sinner. Man is not a sinner. Well, every man that I find is a sinner. As I said, the example of children. That's only one example. Did any of you teach your child to say lies? Did any of you teach your children to fight? You leave two children here, give in one child's hand a bottle, come back in after 5 minutes, one child will be holding the hair like this, the other child will be screaming, they will be trying to snatch the other thing. Very seldom see the other child putting the bottle in the mouth of the other child, say, drink, I'm a very generous Christian. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. We are all sinners. Then depend upon our upbringing, because we don't permit certain sinful tendencies to freely exercise, we kind of restrict it, and therefore, with our values and training and all that, we bring our children, in such a way that by God's grace, before they are 5 years, they find Jesus Christ as a Savior, and what a comfort it is. Oh boy. What a comfort. That's a great comfort. Because when you have your child saved at the age of 4 or 5, it makes a big difference. We had all our children saved before they were 6. The highest was 6, the lowest was 4. Between 4 and 6 they were all saved. Oh, what a joy it is. With the exception of one, all 4 were led to the Lord by my wife. One was led to the Lord in the Sunday school. She was very young. But it's a joy, that behavior. Doesn't mean that sin nature gone away, but, they were going the wrong direction. Now they are turned to the right direction. So it's a great thing.